Good afternoon and welcome, good evening and welcome to from all. The first real signs of summer today. Clouds gathering overhead now, but the ground is dry and firm, and it should be good for top of the ground rugby. Halifax facing local rivals Bradford. Bradford under Brian Smith been led into the top four and to Wembley, and is recruited in numbers. Halifax 3 wins, looking to improve that to maintain their climb up the table this afternoon in front of what looks like the biggest crowd at Thrumall this season. The teams for this afternoon are as follows, with Assaramoni at full-back for Halifax, John Bentley, John Schuster, Graham Allison, Abby Okoku the 3/4. Micah Manga keeps the number 6 shirt, and a late change sees Carl Briggs come in at scrum half and Danny Seal drop to the loose forward position after the late withdrawal of Simon Baldwin with a groin injury. Carl Harrison, Paul Rowley, Richard Marshall in the front row, Carl Gillespie, Mark Perry, and as mentioned Danny Seal making up the back three. Martin Kettridge, Andy James, Ferretti Tuilanga and Martin Moana on the bench. Chris Chester also fit again. He played in a tightly contested academy game prior to this big match this afternoon. This afternoon's sponsors are the Computer Centre, who are the major sponsors of the Halifax Blue Sox, and they, in their party this afternoon, Peter Ogden the chairman, Mike Norris the chief executive, Mr Joe McNally who's the managing director and vice president, and Mr Jonathan Adams who is the commercial director. Tonight's mascot is Gemma Elizabeth Ambler from St Joseph's Roman Catholic School. Favourite players Craig Dean and Carl Harrison. Her hobbies are rugby and swimming, and she's been sponsored by Liquid Lines of Normanton. And as Halifax prepare to kick off, I'll let you go through the Bradford side, Mal.
Well, thanks. Yeah, the Bulls this evening with Stuart Spruce at fullback, Carlos Hassan, Matt Calland, Joe Tamani coming in for the injured Paul Loughlin, and back after that dead leg on the wing, John Scales. Bradley and Robbie Paul at the halfbacks, McDermott, Lowes, Fairbank, Dwyer, Donegal and McNamara, and on the bench we have Medley, Cook, Nicol and Tomlinson. It's the Bulls with the first drive, and Carl Fairbank bringing that first drive up there, taking a good tackle by the number 30 Richard Marshall, as Bernard Dwyer now just takes that drive up for the Bulls. The Bulls just with that one change, as I said a little bit earlier on, as James Lowe flips the ball inside to Donegal up to the halfway line, and man in the middle this afternoon's Bill Harrigan, top Aussie whistler that's over here because of the Super League wrangle down under in Australia, so Harrigan ploying his trade. McNamara, the long ball out to Scales on that far side. That's the last tackle, as Scales well wrapped up there by the Halifax defence, so that'll be the handover as Bill Harrigan signals, and Halifax now coming away with the ball. Perrott it was that took that tackle, as Fax looking to try and prize a hole in this Bradford defence, but probably in this first opening 10-15 minutes both defences will be on top here at Thrum Hall, as Micah Marga there in at the standoff position. Fax looking to move the ball out as Harrison takes the charge up, but well met there by Dwyer and Bradley. 4 tackles gone now for the Blue Sox, as Fairbank in with a big hit. A little bit of oohs and ahs there from the Halifax crowd, as good pressure there, but that's a good high ball towards Stuart Spruce, and Spruce takes the ball safely, brings the ball out to his own 10-metre mark, but that was a high swirling ball as Robbie Paul gets the ball onto Joe Tamani. Tamani offloads the ball there, but once again the Halifax defence doing well there, but Tamani going to be a crowd pleaser for the Bulls as McDermott takes the drive up. McNamara straightening up, and a good strong run there by Steve McNamara makes good yardage for the Bulls. Robbie Paul, the little bit of shepherd in there as Callan gets the ball back inside to Dwyer. Dwyer straightening up, but Dwyer having to take the tackle there of Danny Seal. This youngster in the Halifax side is James Lowes. Down the short side, Lowes pops, steps inside, he's got Robbie Paul with him. Stuart Spruce is on the inside. Paul turns them inside out onto Stuart Spruce, and Spruce gets the super try there for the Bulls, but put that down to the running there from acting half-back of James Lowes, bringing the ball up the short side. Lowes turned the defence one way, then the other, had Robbie Paul in support. Paul took the ball up, and coming up on the outside, one man inside, but Stuart Spruce taking that ball, and Spruce scoring his third try for the Bulls in only 2 outings. That's the opening that Bradford needed this afternoon, and of course here at Thrum Hall it's always a big grudge match. We played some 5 minutes here on the clock at Thrum Hall. It's Halifax Blue Sox 0, Bradford Bulls 4.
McNamara with the kick-off from the centre spot restarts the game. Amoni underneath it inside to Pettit, and Pettit back to the 20-metre line. And Paul, probably one of the most dangerous half-backs in the rugby league at the moment, showing there why he's earned himself that tag as Gillespie brings it forward, but Halifax only made 10 metres. Briggs running across the angles, Seal trying to go underneath, recovered from that big hit from Fairbanks. But, just knocked his senses a while. A great run by Harrison, unloads, Briggs can't get it away, the 5th tackle. Halifax still in their own half, they'll look for Amanga, pump it downfield, Scales back for it. Plenty of strength and speed as John Scales. Bradford supporters just appealing there as Pettit made the extra man in the tackle. Halifax suddenly sharpening up the tackling, that time on Famani just short of halfway. Bradford getting over the advantage line, trying to get up and play the ball quickly was McDermott. Now they use the width of the field. Dwyer looks for the gap, the dummy run, had Bradley on the inside. But Bradford are back in the Halifax half. McNamara throws the dummy. A man there again inside, it was Calland who didn't get the pass as Lowes puts it on the ground, and Okoku lets it run into touch. But Halifax back in their own quarter. So Bradford making good yards back towards the Halifax line. And Briggs will feed the scrum. Amone drives out a defence. Good cover there. McNamara breaking off the scrum very quickly. Amanga has to go on his own. He looked. He's got away from 2. Desperate tackling. Brings him down. Jeremy Donegan, the Australian. Marshall into 3. Plenty of defence there for the Bulls. Briggs back out. Amanga. The kick for Bentley to chase. It's running away from him on the bounce, and Spruce goes back almost to his own line. Halifax need to put the pressure on. Spruce gets away from Bentley once, then twice. It's a good tackle that puts Spruce down by Seal just under his own post. Carlos Hassan, it's played quickly. Bradford trying to perhaps catch Halifax offside, and another big hit there. Well, plenty of action already in the first 7 or 8 minutes. Some big hits which the Aussie referees perhaps like to get go. But the forward pass will give Halifax the advantage with the ball in the Bradford half, just inside. As they look for reply from that first try from Spruce in the 3rd minute. Bradford leading by 4 points to 0. Seal up quickly from the back of the scrum, but Donegan up quickly as well, breaking off to make the tackle. Amanga, the run round with Briggs. There's a man over for Halifax if they can make it count, but Schuster goes inside into the arms of Calland. Amone going forward, still going forward. Good run by Asa Amone. takes Halifax to within 30 metres. Gillespie out to Okoku. Quickly wrapped up though, the big Halifax winger on the Bradford 20. Briggs to Harrison. Spotting the headgear this afternoon, desperately trying to get the ball away. That won't please Steve Sims as Carl Harrison wastes the possession. And now Robbie Paul tries to set up the attack again.
And Joe Tamani there on the break, gets the ball out to the Bulls, keeping this ball going with Robbie Paul. Paul just dancing around there. John Scales it was, but what a super break there by Joe Tamani again as Bulls on the attack with McDermott straightening up now. McDermott through the gap, puts Graham Bradley, but Bradley well tackled there. Has the gap open, but it's McNamara from acting halfback onto Robbie Paul. Paul spinning round, but just held a yard short there of the Halifax try line. The long ball out. Picked up this time by Spruce. Spruce nowhere to go really as Bill Harrigan signals the last tackle for the Bulls. Fairbank, the little dab through, but that's picked up well at the back by Ansramoni, and Halifax breathe a little bit of sigh of relief. That's back to zero tackle as Fax look to bring this ball away with the forwards up to the 20-metre mark. Okoku in at the acting halfback, makes a good 15-20 metres there for Halifax, but Bulls showing a lot of enterprise this afternoon with the attacking, but Halifax just managing to hang on there as Fax come again with Harrison. Harrison turning the back, looking to offload, but this time well wrapped up. And that ball coming out then, referee giving a penalty. Had a signal from the touch judge that that ball was pulled out. It's all right, one man on one man, but there were two Bradford defenders there around Carl Harrison, so that's free kick for Halifax. Hallis puts a good kick into touch on that far side. So Fax coming again with Carl Harrison. Harrison once again turning the back there, but no being support this time. Richard Marshall takes the drive up to the 10-metre mark of the Bulls, so the Bulls need to keep this defence intact as Halifax look to move the ball out. Nice little inside pass there to Hallis, but Hallis well rattled up. Amoni, Micah Margaret was that slipped that ball inside, but Halifax going forward now with Carl Briggs. Briggs offloads a good ball. Once again the Bulls defence holding out there with Graham Bradley, and the touch judge spotting an infringement there. Touch judge is on the part, but Harrigan letting and Robbie Paul picks the ball up, gets the ball out to Amoni, but it's going to be to no avail as finally Bill Harrigan spots the touch judge on the field at this near side. Probably saw something in the tackle there. It was Bernard Dwyer and Graham Bradley that tackled the Halifax player. And it looks like Graham Bradley being spoken to by Harrigan. Obviously, they're not going to have problems with the languages. Two Aussies there talking to one another. And that'll be penalty to Halifax on the 10-metre mark. And straight away, Fax electing to go for goal. Carl Harrison asking John Schuster to come up and try and attempt the 2 points to reduce the arrears for Halifax. It's still that scoreline. Halifax 0, the Bulls 4. We've played some 13 minutes now on the clock. And of course Schuster been in superb kicking form in the opening rounds of Super League since coming back after injury. Chance for him to reduce the arrears by 2 points. A little bit of a hush goes around the ground as Schuster steps up now, strikes the ball. That finds the centre of the post. So on 14 minutes here at Thrum Hall, it's Halifax Blue Sox 2, Bradford Bulls 4. So just waiting for a ball to come on the field as Medley and Nicol just had a little warm-up run down the touchline, and thankfully it's cooled down a little bit here at Thrum Hall. When we arrived about 4:30, quarter-5, it was still quite warm, but Spruce takes a good ball. It's the ball on to Doniger. Doniger, the big striding Aussie, gets over the 20-metre markers. Robbie Paul in an acting halfback, gets the ball on to McDermott. McDermott takes the drive up for the Bulls. McNamara in at first receiver as McNamara once again runs at the Halifax defence. Bulls working their way up towards the halfway lines. Robbie Paul puts the long ball over the top to Bradley, and Bradley there, Calland. A little bit of a misunderstanding as Calland came inside. Fax bring the ball away now with Carl Gillespie from that Bulls mistake. The ball out to Amaga. Amaga switches the ball back inside, but the Bradford defence getting across well there. Harrison once again, it's the drive up, but this time 3 Bradford players very, very quickly around him. Seal looking to go through the gap there, but no way through as Calland and Hallis just having a little word with one another as once again Halifax at 6s and 7s as the kick goes, and that's out on the full, so that'll be the handover to the Bulls. Bad mistake there as Halifax players seem to get in one another's way, and Brian McDermott now at first receiver. Tackle well there by Marshall. Carl Fairbank having a big game here this afternoon, taking the drives up well for the Bulls. Doniger once again, Doniger into space, trying to prop there, but brought down well. McNamara, good yards, in a pity that Baldwin's not playing this afternoon, because Baldwin did say, McNamara's pinched my shirt in the England side as Amaga wanted Joe Tamani, quick play of the ball there as the Bulls a little dab through there, but just that little bit too far. Steve McNamara in the thick of things here this afternoon for the Bulls as Halifax come away with John Bentley.
Halifax found themselves back down by their own line due to the hesitancy in the kick on the last tackle from Carl Briggs, and the pressure put on in forcing the ball into touch. Now they've got to make a lot of yards to get back up to the other end of the field. Amanga involved a lot in Halifax's plays, showing 1 or 2 neat little touches, but it's not helped Halifax get over the whitewash yet, trailing by 4 points to 2. 5th tackle, Rowlett drills it down into the bottom corner. Excellent kick by Rowley, forcing the Bulls back towards their own line. Rowley just spotting that little gap in the Bulls' defence. Scales in a forward position. That one looking a little bit neater than the last kick for touch on the last tackle. But Tamani bustling out of defence up to the 20. Good tackle by Schuster. Scales takes it on himself from acting half, but only into Harrison and Marshall. Dwyer making the break, support from Bradley. Bradley brought down by Amone, but Bradford back in the Halifax half, and Robbie Paul skipping through again. Briggs brings him down with a laxist tackle, but Bradford on the attack again by the Halifax line. Bradley just trying to release the ball, loses it. Amone picks up the pieces for Halifax. There's the Blue Sox line under pressure again. Bentley fancies a run around the outside, but the Bulls defence across quickly. Amanga just managing to catch it with fingertips. Gillespie into Dwyer and Bradley. 2 very big sides this afternoon. Alice spots a gap from acting half. Great run by Graham Alice, skips through one, slips it out one-handed to Okoko, and Okoko is going to get Halifax's first try. But that was a superb piece of opportunism from Graham Alice from acting half. looked as though he'd been caught. He stood up in the tackle, managed to get away, and when the Bradford defence got back, he managed to slip a perfect pass around the body to the supporting Okoku from 35 metres out, and Okoku with a clear run to the line to put Halifax into the lead for the first time at 6 points to 2. And Schuster just to the left-hand side of the post will surely extend the lead to 6 points. The wind is back, but no problem for John Schuster. And it's taken a while for Halifax to come to life in attack, but they certainly did it with style on that occasion. And Graham Ellis really has been at the top of his form in the last couple of weeks since his return to Thrumall after his aborted move to Australia. Said at the start of the season he was disappointed with his own form on his last spell here, but it's not been disappointing in the last couple of weeks. Long kick. Doniger underneath in his own in-goal area, brings it out 12-13 metres. Now Halifax look to defend strongly, but Dwyer's running very purposely out of defence, takes Bradford out of their quarter. McDermott into the tackle, 15 from halfway of Marshall and Gillespie. Drop off ball from McNamara. Halifax tacklers moving in, but Bradford still making ground. Now the switch back to Bradley. Harrison around the top, has to have another go. Bradley thought about releasing the pass. Fifth tackle. McNamara over the top, no problem for Amone, and he'll run it out strongly. Full belt into the Bradford defence. The ball comes loose, but it went backwards. Bentley looks for a gap, can't get through Dwyer and Bradley. Okoku taken down, that looked a bit high. Touch judge says not. I don't think Abby Okoku too happy with that one. Briggs tackled by Doniger. Harrison trying to step back inside. Halifax make it back into Bulls territory. Amanga showing it out to Schuster. Schuster, that one bouncing off his chest, so a chance for the Bulls to counter-attack. And McDermott almost doing it as he gets back over halfway.
Yeah, good error force there as Robbie Paul takes the charge up now for the Bulls. Paul spins round, gets the ball out to Dwyer. Dwyer inside to Matt Calland, but Calland having to take the tackle there, not really coming at speed. Robbie Paul in at first receiver, on to Bradley. Bradley the ball over, and that's a knock on by Tamani. Bradford had the Dumaruni coming, and Tamani just took his eye off the ball at the crucial moment there, so the attack falls down. Halifax 8, Bradford Bulls 4. We played some 24 minutes on the clock here at Thrum Hall. It's Halifax head and ball as the ball into Amaga. Halifax with Bentley coming across. That's a good pass. Hallis stepping inside, this time well wrapped up by Bradley. McNamara getting across there very quickly. And referee there holding down. That's a penalty against Matt Calland. Had a little bit of a tussle there with Graham Hallis, so incurring the wrath of Bill Harrigan, and Harrigan just having a word. And Robbie Paul in there, of course, skipper for the Bulls. Harrigan just telling, cool it down. So Hallis with the penalty to drive that ball a little bit further into the Bulls' half. Rowley, little tap there, brings Richard Marshall on the burst, but Dwyer in very, very quickly. Harrison, that's a good strong run by the Halifax skipper up to the 20-metre mark. Halifax looking to spin the ball out now. The long ball out to Schuster. Schuster trying to go around the outside, but the scrambling defence there of the Bulls getting across with McNamara. McNamara seems to be everywhere on this part this afternoon. Halifax up to the 20-metre mark. Rowley from acting halfback. The long ball out over the top. Hallis trying to get the ball inside, but the ball well slipped there to Hallis, but referee saying the ball ripped out again. So Bradford making a lot of errors here this afternoon, incurring the wrath of the referee. And Harrison once again electing to go for goal, asking John Schuster to come up. So 2 mistakes there by Bradford that have allowed Halifax back into the Bulls' half of the field. No signs of any substitutions yet for the Bulls, as Medley and Tomlinson just taking the water down there for the players. Schuster just emptying the bucket of sand there. There's more sand there than what you probably find on Blackpool Beach, but that's a right old pile of sand that Schuster's put down on the 20-metre mark there. It's 5 metres in from the touchline. The Bulls with Medley, Cook, Nicol and Tomlinson on the substitutes bench. Brian Smith decided not to utilise any of these players yet, as Schuster, the little flick round the corner, lines himself up. That ball curling round, but curling round just that little bit too much, and pulling to the left-hand side of the uprights. But the important thing, that ball going dead, so it'll be a drop out on the 20-metre mark. And of course Halifax a chance to get possession back as we come up to the half hour. McNamara pops the ball out long over the halfway line, but Halifax driving back at this Bradford defence. Rowley from acting halfback. It's the ball on there to Danny Seal, but Seal having to take the tacklers. Fax come again with Richard Marshall. Bernard Dwyer in there with a good tackle. Halifax now will move the ball out. Amoni switches, drops the ball off inside, but good spotting there by Doniger and Fairbank, as Harrison once again running straight at this Bradford defence. 5 tackle signal by the referee. So will we see Rowley with the little grubber kick through as Stuart Spruce just watches that ball go over the in-goal line. Carl Sasan back there with him as well, as Bulls take the quick tap, and Stuart Spruce it is who bringing the ball out of defence. Good running there by the Bradford fullback. Carl Fairbank now bringing the drive up, turning the back, but tackle well there. Bradford still going with Matt Callan. Callan slipping the ball out of that tackle there. It looked like McDermott that came up with that ball. McNamara, good ball on Doniger, puts the ball down there as the ball floated out, so Halifax back in possession.
Well, another mistake from Bradford. That could be the story of the afternoon. Very few errors made this afternoon. It looks like it might be the team that keeps hold of the ball the best. Grunting tackle by Dwyer on Gillespie. But Halifax 8 points to 4 in the lead. And back in the Bulls half of the field, 11 minutes from half time. Amanga this time goes on his own, 5th tackle, and Halifax haven't made much ground. Briggs this time quick to get the kick away, but it drifting away to the wrong side of that flag in the bottom corner. And Bradford quick to get it back on the go with Hassan. McNamara from acting half to Fairbanks. But despite Halifax's lead, you get the feeling that Bradford can turn it on at any time. They're making good yards with the football when they do have the possession. Another big hit there, this time by Amanga. Tamane Strong run again, back into the Halifax half. Now Robbie Paul, close eye kept on Paul, but his release to Bradley. Bradford keep it alive, it's gone back to Tamani. 5th tackle, Bulls 32 metres out. McNamara the chip through, Bentley goes down to recover it and knocks it backwards. Fortunately had Pomone at the back of him. Donegal bearing down to creep on any mistake now. Bentley from acting half, only running sideways, met by Dwyer and Scales. Okoku goes through Bradley, Bradley managing to hang on to the ankle, and Fairbanks over the top. Briggs short ball to Gillespie. Off the defensive line, moving up quickly onto Gillespie. Carl Harrison almost losing it. Running again with purpose, leading by example, the Halifax captain. Schuster with a step. Tamani not falling for it on halfway, the 5th tackle. Briggs, one off the outside of the foot towards that bottom corner again, but rolling out dead. So Halifax failing to put the pressure on Bradford by forcing the scrum. Ball going dead for the second occasion in as many minutes. So there's a mistake there as Hassan and McNamara didn't quite read the script and fell over each other. So a free tackle to Halifax as Dwyer gets away from Rowley. Good passing, McDermott gets it to Bradley. Bradley goes back towards the pack. He's wrapped up this time as Seal comes in with Rowley. Put into touch by McNamara, but only just on halfway. Bulls will go on the attack again. They'll be looking to perhaps snatch the lead back before half-time with McDermott the first run. McNamara to Fairbanks. Fairbanks almost through, support from Bradley. Bradley with Paul inside, and there you go, Bradford from the halfway. Well, I just mentioned earlier that Bradford looked as though it could score any time if they got the break. Well, it came that time with Fairbanks, support from Bradley, and as you would expect, Robbie Paul was always thereabouts to go under the post. With a kick to come, it'll surely put Bradford back into the lead with less than 10 minutes to go to half-time.
Ball underneath the post. What a crucial time to score a try for the Bulls. We come up to that half-time interval. McNamara with the conversion attempt to come. McNamara successful this. It'll put the Bulls back into the lead as McNamara finds the centre of the post and right over the top, over the scratching shed at that end of the ground. I get about 6 minutes to go now to half-time, and the Bulls warming 2 substitutes up. We've got Medley and Tomlinson stripped off. John Scales struggling a little bit there with an arm injury, as Fairbank it is that's going to come off, and Medley on his substitution. Fairbank had a big half, this first half hour. Good running, good tackling by the Bradford prop. So Medley it is, and of course Paul Medley was a player here at Halifax, didn't settle, and the Bulls signed Medley, and Medley been an ever-present for the Bulls since that signature, as McNamara drives the ball down the field again, but that's good driving out for Halifax there. Bulls just need to concentrate now and keep that line intact up to that half-time whistle, as Harrison once again having a big game. Carl Harrison this afternoon for Halifax gets up to the halfway line. Rowley from acting halfback. Rowley darts round one, but Medley with his first tackle of the afternoon there pulls the Halifax hooker down. Halifax the long ball out to Schuster. Schuster steps inside, but that's a good tackle, as Schuster thought he'd seen the gap there, but McNamara it was, as Halifax put the ball into the air. That's straight at Stuart Spruce, and Spruce takes the ball safely there. Halifax with no chasers. Spruce tries to come round, but that's a good tackle. Carlos Hassan from acting halfback. Props, but has to take the tackle there of Mona. That's come on as Donegal taking that drive up now, as The Bulls looking to put a bit of urgency in as Medley. That's a good tackle on Medley as Medley were trying to get up a full head of steam. Matt Calland. Calland drops the ball inside to Dwyer. Dwyer onto McDermott. McDermott finds the gap. And a forward pass there as a little bit of close into passing by the Bulls. Stuart Spruce it was that made the half break, but just overrunning that ball by a fraction, and Bill Harrigan there in a good position to spot that forward pass. So down we'll go to scrum. Fax come up with the ball. Hamoni coming in from the full-back there, but having to take the tackle, and the players just getting a little bit tangled up there. It was Steve McNamara again as Halifax putting the ball down. That's picked up by Joe Tamani, and Tamani just settles things down as referee signals it back to zero tackle as John Scales. Scales recovering after that dead leg, didn't play in the game last week, but the Bulls come away now with the ball over the top to Bradley. Bradley props, steps inside. Halifax smothering man and ball there. There's a quick play of the ball. Lowe's comes down the short side. Lowe's the ball on to Carlos Hassan, and Hassan, good tackle there by Graham Hallis. Tried to shoulder dummy, but once again it was that quick dart down the short side, but Hallis not taking a dummy there, and down we'll go to scrum. Halifax head and ball on their 20-metre mark as we approach about 38 minutes on the clock here at Thrum Hall. Possibly a last chance for Halifax as Carl Briggs takes the ball up from behind the scrum. He'd got a Cuckoo on his outside. Cuckoo had acting half back, but a penalty there on McNamara for not lying straight, stepping off the mark there as a Cuckoo tried to play that ball, and that's a poor kick, but finally finding touch on the first bounce. Rowley to tap the ball onto Harrison. Harrison once again turning his back, showing the ball, but well smothered there by Doniger and Medley. Marshall takes the drive up for Fax, but once again the Bradford tacklers doing the job as Droll dropped inside to Gillespie. Gillespie offloads nicely there, but McDermott and Medley in on the tackle. Halifax looking to move the ball out now. Doniger in with the tacklers. Once again Harrison runs at the Bradford defence, manages to offload the ball, but a little knock-on spotted there by Bill Harrigan. That was good pressure by Bradford as Harrison trying to release this ball, and the player just not expecting it. Tamani from behind the scrum. Joe Tamani trying to get away. Got John Scales on the outside as Scales from the acting halfback brings the ball in straight into the waiting arms there of Carl Harrison and Rowley. McDermott flips one out the back door to Dwyer. Dwyer props, straightens up, but has to take a good tackle there. Bradford trying to keep this ball alive as Bradley coming down the short side again. Bradley steps inside. Had the supporting player there in Stuart Spruce, trying to offload as Lowe sells a nice dummy, drops the ball inside to Hassan. Hassan one out of the back door to Robbie Paul. Robbie Paul's going to dance and bob and weave about over the top to Doniger. Doniger inside to Joe Tamani. Tamani having to take the tackle there. 5 tackles signalled by the referees. The Bulls work the short side with Matt Callan. Callan gets the boot to it, but finally swept up at the back there, but good chasing by Bradford. Joe Tamani it was, and Tamani there having a little bit of a laying on job, and the Halifax spectators in the scratching sheds show the disgust as Harrigan gives the penalty to Halifax.
Bring it to the last minute of the first half, and Bradford have conceded 7 so far. Halifax just the 1. Handling errors 4 apiece, and Halifax could dearly do with a try before half time. There's not many stoppages in the first half. Okoku trapped by Dwyer. Running out of room and support there, Okoku, as the Bradford defence moved in. Alice looks for the step and the break, but Bradford trying to hold out as the Hooter sounds for the end of the first half. A real tussle between Halifax and Bradford. Halifax using it as a measure of how much they've improved in the last 2 or 3 weeks. Well, in the 30-40 minutes, it's been steady because they're only 2 points behind at the break. Spruce with a try after 3 minutes from Bradford after Henry Paul had teased the defence and cut through to make the opening. Schuster's replied with a penalty, and then a break from Alice from inside his own half set Okoku up from 35 metres. Schuster converted and Halifax were in the lead at 8 points to 4. But Fairbanks, the old campaigner in the Bradford side, broke through. Bradley on his shoulder, Henry Paul back on the inside under the post. No problem for McNamara. Bradford in the lead at the break, but this game there for anybody in the second half. Bradford leading by 10 points to 8. Steve McNamara gets the second half underway. The Bulls leading by 10 points to 8. An all-action first half. Bradford just with the edge. But Steve Sims, I think, will have told Halifax to calm things down. It took them a couple of minutes to get going. It took them 5 or 10 minutes to get going in the first half. Halifax tried to come away with Marshall, 10 metres from halfway. James Lowes with a tackle. Briggs to Amanga, drop-off ball to Moana. Into the second row as a replacement for Mark Pettit in the first half. Back in the first team after some time. The big New Zealander. Norman came in as a stand-off, a loose forward. But Spruce allowed plenty of room there, nobody closing him down. Seal and Harrison in eventually, the 0 tackle, so 6 to go for Bradford. Hassan can't push away Amanga. Lowes from acting half to Bradley. Had a stint with Castleford some time ago, did Bradley. Followed Brian Smith to St George. Good tackle by Harrison on Jeremy Doniger. McNamara to Medley, doing well to keep hold of it there, Paul Medley. Former Halifax player, of course, only played a handful of games in his time at Thrumall before moving on to Leeds. Getting on a bit in years now, but still has the ability. So as Bradley, as he chips through, Bentley races back, it's bouncing awkwardly. Recovers the situation as Tamani tries to take him back into the in-goal area. Amoni to Briggs. Briggs almost managing to get away. McNamara just wrapping him up, putting him down 7 metres out from the Halifax line. Marshall going forward. 3 defenders waiting for him. Now Gillespie. Halifax using the forwards to try and drive it away from their own line. Rowley from acting half to Okoku. Fancies a run around the outside. But Carlos Hassan managing just to pull him down by the arm. Moana taking the drop-off ball from Briggs up towards halfway. Ball comes loose. Well, Moana got up, walked away, and I must admit it did look as though he'd actually thrown the ball away. but the touch judge on the far side said he had it pulled out, so Halifax will get the penalty, and Alice will pop it into touch, 10 metres into the Bulls half. Harrison with the first drive, making a full 12 metres towards that Bulls try line. Halifax playing towards the scratching shed against the wind. Moana playing it quickly, rolling from acting half, pops it up, it goes to ground, but Halifax scrambling somehow. Can they bring something out of this? Long ball, Schuster, great step by Schuster back inside. I think he was expecting Amanga to go for the return. Seal to Briggs. Briggs dancing and weaving, gets it away to Alice. Now a chance again for Halifax on this near side. Amanga to Schuster, but Tamane all over Schuster. Having a good battle between them, those two centres. Bentley from acting half towards the line, brought down 5 metres out. Wants to get up and play it quickly on the last tackle. Moana to Schuster. Schuster to Briggs. Panic again as Briggs goes through to Amanga. Amanga just short of strength to get over the Bradford line, brought down 2 metres out. But again, a little bit of hesitancy and panic in the Halifax attack with Carl Briggs as he looked to set up the position on the last tackle. And that's a good run by Tamani away from the Bradford line.
Yeah, a lot of pressure there by Halifax as the Bulls weathered the storm as Medley. That's a good charging run by Paul Medley to bring this ball out of defence as McDermott takes the drive up now, steps inside but just flicked over onto the ground there as Lowe from acting halfback onto Calland, but Calland having to take the tackle there of Amaga. Robbie Paul in at first receiver onto McNamara. McNamara looking to sell the little dummy, but McNamara wrapped up and 5 tackles gone now for the Bulls, so we should see the kicking game here as that's a nice little chip over the top, but Robbie Paul didn't really chase that ball down as Bernard Dwyer finally gets hold of his man, but that's the 0 tackle counted as Halifax once again in possession, had all the possession in the opening 5 minutes of this second half. The Bulls weathered the storm really. Harrison once again taking the drive up, but good tackle by Paul Medley, assisted there by Bernard Dwyer. Halifax trying to move the ball out, looking for the runners as Schuster steps inside, had the support coming, but a good tackle by Steve McNamara, who's been all about this part this afternoon. Fax moving the ball well, little dummy there, but once again the ball offloaded out to Marshall, but Marshall finally taking the tackle there of Bradley and Dwyer as Halifax work the short side. Carl Gillespie there up to the 20-metre mark, but 5 tackles gone. These tackles coming round. That's a good high ball. Spruce going up, hits the head of Spruce, but a little bit of a lucky bounce there as Bradford had that little bit of luck. Spruce jumped up for the ball. Spruce trying to make amends now for that mistake, bringing the ball away. That's a good relieving run, wrapped up there by Hallis. Hallis onto McDermott. McDermott stepping inside, offloads the ball to Lowe's, onto Dwyer. Dwyer, that's a good tackle on Bernard Dwyer as the Bulls now with Robbie Paul. Paul trying to step inside, spinning round, manages to offload the ball to the supporting Lowe's as Lowe's into space, but Hallis just getting across there as the Ousnars went up on that far side. Looked like a high tackling. That's a penalty to the Bulls. Laying on there by Hallis. And Bill Harrigan finally giving the Bulls a penalty. That's only the second penalty in this game so far. Graham Bradley just signalling to the bench there. Looks as though they possibly wanting a substitution, but that's a good drifting kick onto the 20-metre mark as McDermott will take the drive up for the Bulls. McDermott spinning round, needs to play the ball quick here. McNamara onto Medley, Medley at pace. Medley trying to go through his man there, but the Bulls working the short side and substitution has been made. Robbie Paul drops the ball inside, but Tomlinson is the substitution. I didn't see who came off the park as the ball was slipped inside there by Robbie Paul. And referee pull the players up there. It looks like somebody's given a penalty to the Bulls. Didn't see what that was. It was following the player there, but Harrigan just having a word there with Carl Harrison by the look of it. And the Bulls electing to go with McNamara. Tomlinson on the park, just trying to have a look round and see who came off. It looks like Joe Tamani that has been replaced by Glenn Tomlinson. So McNamara with the penalty. A little bit of a strange decision by the referee, the signal that he gave there. And the Bulls substitution. It's McDermott coming off and Carl Fairbank going back into the fray for the Bulls as McNamara strikes the ball. But that's a good kick by Steve McNamara. Extends the Bulls lead by a further 2 points. Halifax Blue Sox 8, Bradford Bulls 12 as we've played some 10 minutes now in this second half. Halifax had all the pressure, but that'll be one for the people on the terrace in to contemplate, probably after the game, having a drink. That weird decision there by this Australian ref, Bill Harrigan. When Robbie Paul had laid that ball back, Tomlinson overran it, but referee gave the penalty to the Bulls, and of course the 2 points by McNamara resulted in it as Bentley picks that ball up from the kickoff. Runs straight into the waiting arms there of the Bradford defence. McNamara in again with the tackle, Fairbank assisting him. Harrison putting the ball down again as Tomlinson sweeps up at the back, but just losing his feet there. So the Bulls coming again. James Lowe's out to Carlos Hassan, but nobody on the outside there of Hassan. Just having to take that ball up, take the tackle. Fairbanks drops the ball inside, but that's good spotting by the Halifax defence. Tomlinson onto McNamara. McNamara to Doniger. Doniger out wide. Doniger gets half away. He's got Bradley inside as Bradley carrying the ball, and the strength of Graham Bradley there, but finally there's 3-4 Halifax players wrap themselves very, very quickly around Graham Bradley. Long ball out needed now. McNamara. The long ball over the top to Robbie Paul. Paul switches the ball inside to Spruce. Spruce trying to spin round. The Bulls probably been better keeping going on that short side as Robbie Paul once again. Paul inside to Dwyer. Dwyer to Tomlinson, but Tomlinson wrapped up there, and that's the last tackle signal. Can't see who that is. The referee's given the try. Quick play of the ball it was. Let's have a look which player comes up with it. Looks like Steve McNamara, was it? James Lowe's it was from the acting half back there. Quick play of the ball there as Tomlinson got to his feet very, very quickly, and James Lowe's gets the try for the Bulls. Number of times we've seen Jimmy Lowe's do that in that 2 or 3 metre area from the try line. Quick play of the ball, and we had that decision by Mr. Harrigan. McNamara been in good kicking form for the Bulls over this last 2 or 3 weeks with Paul Cook. Being sidelined with that injury and not being able to get back into the side as McNamara swings the ball, swings it high and true. The crowd on that side, the Bulls fans that are over here, just that short distance from Bradford this afternoon, they told us that goal was well on its way as Martin Kettridge, he's gone onto the field, substitute for Halifax. Didn't see who came off, but saw Kettridge. Kettridge has gone onto the park. Substitution for Halifax as McNamara about to restart from the centre spot.
Well, Halifax have a lot to do. They're making another change. Danny Sale will come off and Ferretti Twilangi will come on, so it's double substitution by Sims as Bentley is pummeled into the ground by Scales and Doniger. Amone being used as the extra forward, but not getting through the defence. Martin Kettridge first touch. But Bradford tightening up the defence, 3-4 men there. Dwyer the man to complete the tackle. Briggs to Amanga. Inside ball to Moana, away from one. Can't get away from Tomlinson. Gets over halfway. Halifax desperately need a score now to put themselves back into this game. Good tackle by Tomlinson on Marshall. 5th tackle already to Briggs. Briggs opts for the high one. They need to put pressure on Spruce. Made one mistake earlier, no mistake of this time by Stuart Spruce. And went down heavily as he took the ball. Halifax need to defend. Moana misses the first tackle. Goes in again and has a second go with Briggs. Bradford on the short side, Medley. Briggs round the ankles, quickly plays the ball, lows to Fairbanks. Fairbanks one-handed away to Dwyer. Dwyer makes a break, has Paul in support. Paul, long way for him to go. Asaramoni not taking the dummy, a good tackle, but Bradford rolling forward in numbers. Doniger, Schuster around the shoulder, by John Schuster. Bradford Bulls fans didn't seem to think so. McNamara, crossfield kick, pressure for Okoku. Hassan's there first, tips it forward. Perfectly weighted kick by Steve McNamara, good chasing by Hassan. Bentley gets involved a bit more, centre field. Marshall off the short ball from Rowley. Halifax supporters silenced for now by the large Bradford following that's in from all this afternoon. Amanga to Schuster, Schuster trying to step inside. Unable to break away. Briggs opts to go on his own to halfway. Can't get through Medley and Doniger. Rowlett not being given a lot of room. Haven't found many gaps. Kettridge on the last tackle to Amone. Amone with one of those bombs that causes panic, runs forward, puts everybody on side, but Spruce takes it perfectly again. Gets up and looks at Paul Rowlett. I think Rowlett had a little dig at him as he came down with the ball, and Ellis is having a dig this time on McNamara. So it'll be another penalty. And Graham Ellis seemed to be winning the psychological game in the first half. Throwing penalties out of Bradford virtually at will, but not this time. Not in this half. That's 2 he's given away. So McNamara, the recipient of the rough treatment from Hallis, puts the ball into touch. Bradford go on the attack again, just inside the Halifax half with Fairbanks, met by Marshall and Rowley. 17 minutes gone in the second half. Bradford with a 10-point lead. Drop-off ball to Medley from Tomlinson. And Hallis in there again, riding his luck. Kettridge it was that made the legal tackle. That's a great ball, and Bradford look as though they're in again at the corner. Matt Callan through the tackle over Morney down that far side, and that could be curtains for Halifax at this stage. And Bradford, normally a side in the past for going down the middle, really showing the flair since Brian Smith came to also with the new players, and the result of it on that occasion, another try for Bradford to Matt Callan.
And 22 to Bradford it is now. Missed out that last try there in the excitement as McNamara to restart from the centre spot. That's a good long kick, and the ball palmed over the top there, and just managing John Bentley it was to keep his foot in, and Bentley doing well there, bringing the ball away as Halifax looked to sell a little dummy down the short side, but the defence of James Lowe's coming across there very, very quickly as Halifax looked to get this ball going again with Harrison, but Harrison taking a heavy tackle there by Medley and Bernard Dwyer. Dwyer been a rock in the Bradford defence this afternoon, some big hits by him as the ball out there, and that ball picked up eventually, but referee's going to come back to the first knock on. A little bit of scrambling there, and referee Harrigan giving that first knock on and giving the head and ball there to Halifax, so judging that Bradford knocked on from that loose ball, so down will go to scrum. Pack just trying to get down as the temperature here of this game starting to rise, as Halifax coming away again with the substitute. That's a good dropped off ball. Schuster on the inside, Schuster keeping the ball alive with Hallis, and Hallis trying to slip the ball, but Robbie Paul smothering man and ball with James Lowes round the ankles as Fax with Rowley. On to Harrison. Harrison getting the ball at the second attempt and having to take the tackle there of Batman again, Bernard Dwyer and Paul Medley. The ball out, Amoni on to Schuster. Schuster, the little kick over the top for Bentley. Bentley gets the ball inside, and that's going to be a try for Halifax. Good little kick over the top by John Schuster. The Bradford defence held off a little bit there. Bentley picking the ball up well as the defence held off and just flipping the ball inside to Ansel Amoni, and he gets their second try of the afternoon, and the Bradford players there just huddled round, and McNamara it is that's saying, come on lads, let's tighten up a little bit at the back. And strikes the ball, but that's going to in off the post. It looked as though it was going to drift out, but Schuster just getting the benefit of the woodwork there that flipped that ball inside. 23 minutes gone on the clock. And Andy James coming on the part there for Marshall. Richard Marshall offers Halifax get this game underway again, and Paul Cook straight away. First touch of the ball, and it's the ball on to Bernard Dwyer as Dwyer straightens it, but takes a tackle there of Andy James. Halifax 14, Bradford Bulls 22 as we come into the final quarter of this game here at Thrum Hall, and still a game on our hands. Just that 8 points difference. Robbie Paul. It's a bit of a high pass up there to Carl Fairbank. Fairbank gets the ball away one-handed to Doniger. Doniger in onto Bradley. Bradley switching inside. Bradley knocks two off. He's got Carl Fairbank in support. Bradley going on the outside. Gets a good ball over the top, but that's a good tackle. Good covering tackle there by Bentley as McNamara. It's the ball onto Robbie Paul. Paul, the long ball out to Dwyer as Dwyer straightens up. Dwyer going on his own, and Dwyer will go. Just pulled down. It looked as though Dwyer had the try line on his mercies. The Bulls, Robbie Paul. Down ball out to Paul Cook. Cook drops the ball inside. Callan, and Callan rolled over as he got the try, but referee saying no try. Rolled over, so that'll be penalty to Halifax. He's given that as a double movement. Callan it was looking for his second try of the afternoon, but I felt sure that Bernard Dwyer was going to score under the post, but what a brilliant tackle there by the Halifax defence to get back as Hakuku takes the first drive up for Halifax.
Well, that try from Halifax put them right back in this game. There's still a long way to go. Bradford with that pushing of 8 points. Halifax needing to score twice. Kettridge, one out over the top to James. James to Alange. Robbie Paul, good tackle. Now Rowley, a bit of space this time. Gets it away to Briggs. Briggs does well. I don't think we were expecting that. Briggs again to Amanga. The referee said it went backwards. Well, even I don't agree with that. Looked as though Amanga had knocked it forward. But Halifax won't wait about to argue the point as they continue with Alice just inside the Bulls half. Rowley to Briggs. Over the top, one for Bentley to chase into the corner. Cook goes back to recover it. And Cook come away with a counter-attack. A good dummy. Cook with plenty of pace. Signed from Leeds as a winger. And gets back over the 20-metre line. Good bit of work there by Paul Cook. Carlos Hassan unable to go anywhere. Bradford looking to make another change. Medley going forward, and Doniger goes off. It's not a bad sub to having Sonny Nicol. And his first touch of the ball into Amanga running with the elbow there, Nicol. And Amanga felt it as well. Robbie Paul skipping through, away from Rowley, holding onto the shirt. Put down eventually is Robbie Paul. Lows from acting half. Dwyer back on the inside, going towards the Halifax line again. Manages to get it out one-handed to Fairbanks. Fairbanks, I think, waiting for Bill Hannigan's whistle. It looked as though he put it to his mouth then. Fifth tackle again. Halifax looking to hold out. McNamara switches to Tomlinson. Chip through, it comes off Alice. Goes into touch, but it looks as though Bradford are going to get the head and ball. Carl Harrison complaining about it. He's going to get no joy out of it. Bradford will get the chance to put more pressure on the Halifax line with 15 minutes to go. Okoko perhaps on that occasion thinking that the ball had played the man as he went out into touch, in which case Halifax would have got the ball, but not so, as Robbie Paul again tries to tease the Halifax defence out to Cook. Cook allowed a little bit of room, then put down by Briggs and Amanga. Short side, Callan. Amoni managing to get across, but the ball's just 5 metres away again. Scales goes from acting half. He's put down eventually. Desperate defence from Halifax, trying to keep it at 8 points. Tomlinson running to McNamara, using him as a shield, getting the ball away to Cook. Cook dancing. Bradford still 12 metres out. Lows from acting half. Short ball. Nicol with his second touch towards the line, being forced back. Fifth tackle. Back to Tomlinson. Paul looking to set it up, but the mistakes comes. Halifax have knocked on him trying to get it. Kettridge unfortunate on that occasion. So it looks as though the Bulls will get another 6 tackles towards the Halifax line. There's good pressure as Halifax moved out, but probably a touch unfortunate on Kettridge there. So Bradford will attack the Halifax line again. Paul going from the acting half, bit short on support, drop off ball back inside to Bradley. Covert moving across. Lows, short ball to Medley. Well tackled by Amanga. 10 metres out, Lows again, this time to Nicol. Nicol taken round the head by Amanga, but Bill Hannigan pulling at the shirt. Amanga, I think, trying to get his own back there, and for Nicol using the elbow. Moments earlier, Twilangi moving out but missing Dwyer. Dwyer tries to get it away. Harrison picks it up for Halifax. Halifax breathing a sigh of relief. Now they need the quick counter-attack. James has wrapped up after making 10. 12 minutes to go, 22-14 to the Bulls. Amoni makes another 7 or 8. Ball coming loose, plays it at a second time. Amanga, not many options. Nicol continues the battle, his personal battle with the Halifax standoff. Bentley, no way through, gets up to halfway, the 5th tackle. Rowley, opting for the kick, looking for the space, forcing Cook back towards his own try line. It needs a good chase. Rowley, the kicker, is the first man there. Cook takes the option to pass, so that's the first tackle. Perhaps a little bit of a waste as Hassan comes up, pushes away Briggs, but Rowley manages to roll him over just outside the Bradford quarter. Fairbanks pops one up, it bounces kindly for Dwyer, puts his shoulder down and brushes Rowley away, and then is thrown to the floor by Harrison. Back with the forwards, Fairbank unloads again, and he's put Lows into space with Medley in support. Medley stopped by Amoni. Tackle completed by Twilangi. James Lows is off to the try line. Bradford supporters cheering in that bottom corner, but surely even they could see that ball coming forward out of Medley's grasp. So Halifax breathe another sigh of relief. One of the Halifax players being attended to. Looks like Asaramone took the knock. So Halifax need again the possession and to get back up into the Bradford quarter of the field. Twilange, not the best pass for him to take. Bradford defence allowed to move up fairly quickly. Amanga to Schuster. Schuster, an early ball to Bentley, perhaps a bit too early. Nicol, the tackler. Briggs trying to find some space, but McNamara not giving him much time. Rowley, Harrison, long ball out to Kettridge. Kettridge to Twilange. But Twilange a little short on pace on that far side. Dwyer bringing him down. Okoku very close to that touchline and forced in by the Bradford defence. Okoku taking the wrong option. There were two defenders there to force him into touch. So with 9 minutes to go, Bradford with a possession at the scrum again, Halifax with it all to do.
Yeah, good tackle there by Bernard Dwyer as Halifax had the overlap there, but Bernard Dwyer in with a superb tackle as the Bulls now with the scrum. Tomlinson out to Bradley. Bradley props, steps inside, pulled down on the halfway line by Hallis. Tomlinson out to Medley. Medley looking to get a charge of inside to Hassan. Hassan drops the ball back as the Bulls come now with Fairbank. Fairbank on the chart. On Fairbank passing the ball there, slipping the ball, and that intercepted. So mistake there by the Bradford prop. Gives possession back to Halifax as Halifax come away again. The ball slipped inside to Schuster, but nickling there very, very quickly on John Schuster. Brings the Halifax centre down as Robbie Paul wraps Rowley up along with Nicol and touch judge in there. Seen the elbow going down. I saw that from up here. Nicol going down with the elbow and Harrigan just saying shush to the Halifax players, complaining as he brings Sonny Nicol out. Has a quiet word with him, and Bill Harrigan, one of these referees that's constantly talking to the players, but doesn't want the players talking when he needs to talk as Hallis pops the ball into touch. So Halifax back in possession. Coming to the last 10 minutes of this game is Bentley. Bentley straight into the waiting arms there of McNamara and Bradley. Harrison taking the drive up. Bradley in again with the tackle. That's 2 out of 2 for the Bradford centre. Kettridge straightens up, but Kettridge managing to offload there to James as James straightens up, but Jimmy Lowe's in, takes a good tackle as Halifax coming again. Schuster switches the ball, drops it off to Hallis, but Hallis finally puts the ball down, tries to offload, and it's picked up well there by John Scales as refereeing, giving the penalty there. Against Bradford. Hallis pops the ball into touch. So another set of 6 for Halifax. Bulls need to keep this defence up as Halifax go driving. 4 Bradford players just halting on the line. Switch. Briggs is over for a try. Halifax had the overlap on the outside, but Carl Briggs, little feint, little dummy, switched inside, little bit of acceleration, and the Bradford defence nowhere there at all. They've gone and followed the play, and Carl Briggs gets a good try for Halifax. That's reduced the arrears by a further 4 points. Bulls 22, Halifax 18. I make it now about 5 minutes left to go in this game. Run now, they've won the last 3 games, and looking this afternoon as Schuster adds the extras. So we're in for a cracking last 5 minutes here at Thrum Hall as Marshall comes back on the field for Amoni. Amoni limping off as the Bull supporters try and outshout the Halifax ones, but We're in for a cracking last 5 minutes as Halifax restart from the centre. That's a good high ball towards Paul Cook. Cook takes the ball, drops it on to Dwyer, who's worked tirelessly this afternoon for the Bulls, but Halifax really with the tails up now as Sonny Nicol to take the drive up. Nicol straightens up. Bradford McDermott back on the field. Didn't see the big Bradford prop come onto the field, it looks like. Medley on the charge again, trying to get up to the halfway line. McDermott to take the drive up again. McDermott steps inside one. That's a good run by McDermott. We just couldn't offload the ball. 5 tackles gone as Lowe's goes up the short side. Lowe's puts the little dab kick in, and that finds touch just outside the Halifax 20-metre mark. But of course it's head and ball to Halifax, so Bradford need a big tackling stint now to keep Halifax in that half of the field. So down we go to scrum as Halifax come up with the ball. Medley, good tackle there. On. That's 3 tackles gone now as the Bulls look to try and weather this run. Halifax moving the ball out wide, trying to step inside Medley, looking to offload, but Sonny Nicol was there to cover it as Hallis from acting halfback. Hallis shows the little dummy, runs into Robbie Paul, gets the ball out, and Halifax keeping this ball alive now as James having to take the tackle. That's 4 gone as Bentley from the acting halfback into McNamara, but that's a good tackle by McNamara as referee Harrigan signals the last tackler. Halifax going to run it to get the ball out over the top. Out to Okoko's. Okoko going up the wing, dabs the kick through, and Paul Cook doing well. That Paul Cook, referees pull all the players back after that. Forward pass it was to Okoko. We were watching play, and he's going to give the hand over to Bradford. It was on the last tackle, so all that effort there by Halifax as Paul Medley will play the ball just inside his own half as McDermott taking the drive up to halfway line. Some 3 minutes to go on the clock here at Thrum Hall. It's the Bulls with that 2-point slender lead as Calland takes the tackle there, manages to get up as Dwyer just settles things down, drives that ball forward. Lowe's from acting halfback onto Medley. Medley trying to go round the outside, but a good tackle there. Sonny Nicol. Nicol props, steps inside one. Referee once again saying no high tacklers. Nicol gets the ball away to Medley. Medley ducks under the swinging arm again of a Halifax defender there. Bradley stepping inside, trying to settle things down. Bradley spinning round, looking to offload the ball, but just cannot get the ball out as the referee once again signals the last tackle. Bulls got the short side. Lowe's with a little chip over the top, and once again that looks like it's come off. A Halifax player. It'll be head and ball to the Bulls. Little jab kick through there that struck a Halifax player as it went into touch. So Harrigan bringing them out to the 10-metre mark. Just having a word with Carl Harrison there. But head and ball important to the Bulls as we come into the last 2 minutes of this game. Pulsating game. Calland trying to sell the dummy. Got Robbie Paul on the inside, but couldn't just release that ball to the Bradford skipper as the ball popped up to Nicol. Nicol pushes one off, runs at Hallis. Nicol with the strength, and Nicol, can he get the ball down? But Nicol finally forced back. Robbie Paul, the long ball out to Tomlinson. Tomlinson trying to step inside, but the Halifax defence up very, very quickly. Quick play of the ball there by Lowe's. Lowe's trying to go forward, keeping the head down, and there goes the final hoot. Well, what a super game we've had here at Thrum Hall. Bulls just coming out winners in the end, but terrific second half revival by Halifax. Bulls weathering the storm, and referee Bill Harrigan, one or two strange decisions for us, but a good result and a good game for the travelling army of Bull supporters. Halifax supporters at the far end a little bit quiet, but all the players, super game there as the referee, test judges all congratulate one another as the Bulls players go over towards the spectators on that far side. So Halifax really coming back well in that second half, but a lot of Bulls pressure, a lot of mistakes by the Bulls this afternoon with handling. But a terrific display. My man of the match this afternoon surely must go to Bernard Dwyer. A lot of hard work, a lot of good breaks, a lot of tackling, but final score here from Hall, Halifax Blue Sox 20, Bradford Bulls 22.